छोरी मान्छेको खुट्टा तान्ने छोरी मान्छे नै हुन्छ फ्रेममा टाल्दिनु भित्तामा टाल्दिनु ट्यापे लगाएर नट आवर वर्ड्स दो इट वाज फ्रम समवन भेरी फेमस एन्ड आजको टपिक पनि एकदमै सिमिलर छ आई एम शेरी
I'm Sonika.
I'm Shweta.
And welcome back to
Nepali Chhori Haru.
This podcast is presented in collaboration with UNFPA and Paradygm podcast. Don't forget to like in our socials, comment here, and especially follow us on NCH podcast.
This is 6th episode and we are really excited, and you guys have been loving our Reddit confession format, so we will start with confessions as a.
Yeah, so today primarily we're talking about being a girl's girl, and I think one aspect that often comes in is like, as Sherry said, thori mansele thori ko khutta tanne, everything. So we have a confession in relation to that. Let's just jump into it. I sabotaged a pick-me friend because she humiliated me in front of the guy she liked, and I don't regret it. So yeah,
controversial.
I did something petty, maybe even a little brutal. But if you've ever had a pick-me girl in your life, you'll understand. Let's call her Nisha. We've been friends for years, but the second a guy walks into the room, she turned into this fake, overly sweet, helpless version of herself. The kind who's suddenly just one of the guys while casually throwing every other girl under the bus. It got worse when Saurav joined our friend group. Okay, there's a guy. Nisha had a massive crush on him, never said it out loud, but everyone knew. What she didn't like was that Saurav and I, Ria, actually got along. Like real banter, inside jokes, eye contact that lingered just a little too long, and Nisha hated that. So we're at this house, gathering in Lazimpat, chilling, and I'm mid-conversation with Saurav, laughing, vibing, when Nisha walks up and drops this grenade. Wait, Ria, wasn't it you who hooked up with that guy who had a girlfriend?
Oh
that
God.
Tinder guy? What was his name? With the fakest giggle you can imagine, loud enough for everyone to hear. I froze, everyone went quiet, including Saurav. Here's the thing, yes, I went on a date with that guy, but the moment I found out he had a girlfriend, I unmatched and blocked him. Nothing happened, but Nisha twisted it like I had some toxic, man-stealing side character in her love story. I smiled, didn't defend, didn't cause a scene, but I remembered. Over the next weeks, I started letting the truth leak strategically. I told Saurav how Nisha had a secret Insta account just to stalk his ex. How she once cried because he reposted another girl's post. How she used to screenshot his likes and send him to me to overanalyze. And yes, I had proof. Receipts, screenshots, even the fake account had her dog's name in the handle, Sloppy.
Oh my God.
PI energy completely. It didn't take long. Saurav pulled back. People started noticing her patterns. Her cool girl mask cracked, and suddenly she wasn't chill or different. She was just mean. She called me toxic, said I backstabbed her. But honestly, she humiliated me just to make herself look better. All I did was return the favor with facts.
Oh my God, कस्तो personality change हुँदो रहेछ यार निशाजीको त है त्यो like we all know that one person जो चाहिँ like kind of male validation को लागि हुन्छ नि like कस्तो compete गर्न खोज्छ अनि just like putting down like हुन्छ नि oh girls are so drama like म त mascara मात्र लाउँछु I don't even wear foundation त्यस्तै vibes आयो यार निशाबाट we've all been there.
Yeah, it's really sad, like just to make आफूलाई चाहिँ त्यो better साइडमा राख्नको लागि you have to put someone else down by, of course, उसले भने जस्तै यो confessionमा it's like not real scenario, त्यसलाई एकदम exaggerate गरेर कुराहरू थपेर बढाइ चढाइ गरेर चाहिँ एकदम त्यो अर्कोलाई चाहिँ नराम्रो देखाएको के, अनि it's really sad. अनि also अब उति बेला चाहिँ अब she could not, अनि त्यसपछि पुरै पर्दाफास गरे जसरी हैन, it's like investigating
like त्यो सिक्रेट अकाउन्ट छ भनेर like त्यो थाहा हुँदा हुँदै पनि why she is acting like that के, like अब उसले आफ्नै सिक्रेट भनिरहेको छ नि त. She's like oh I have this crush, like त्यो सौरभ माथि crush छ हैन. She's like oh like I'm so obsessed with his ex girlfriend. यो सबै कुरा अब like main character like त्यो POV दिने मान्छेलाई पनि भनिरहेको छ हैन. But at the same time like why are you being so mean, like why are you being a pick me.
I was also like kind of thinking like a general pattern with the behavior. like for example, I went to a girls' school, and it's a girls' validation is the biggest thing. Okay? For example, if I dress pretty and I come out of the house and then a girl compliments me, I am like over the moon. And my God, I look good, Khali. So I see that kind of validation from girls around me, But I think usually like Theka's opposite scenario bhako, like maybe she wanted validation from this guy, from these guys. She was validating that.
Oh my God, like my school I knew this girl, and she had a crush, like usko boyfriend nahi थियो क्या, but like म चाहिँ अलिकति कस्तो सोझो थिएँ, like म like I didn't used to stand up for myself, and like obviously त्यसमा चाहिँ अलिकति एप छ नि, म त्यस्तै थिएँ. I regret it, तर that was me. I love her, literally like out of nowhere हुन्छ नि, just because she spread a rumor कि I liked her boyfriend भनेर क्या, to get the validation and villainize me, and उनीहरूको पुरै लभ स्टोरीमा like म villain भएर आएर like उनीहरू बिच दरार गर्न खोजेको जस्तै के. Oh my God, like that was a time where I didn't know. I was just like, oh yeah, because you called him cute, I was like agreeing, yeah, he's cute भनेर, I wasn't like, oh, he's so cute, like let me get his number, like you guys are dating, मलाई पनि मिलाइदेऊ न, like मैले त्यस्तो भनेको त थिएन नि त. I was like, oh shit, like that's my boyfriend, he's kind of cute, right?
Ambrose मलाई पनि मिलाइदेऊ.
What?
Yeah, it was like, she asked me literally like, he's cute, right? And I was like, oh, छ भनेर. Oh my God, but it's like next few months everybody's like, oh, she's trying to steal her boyfriend, यस्तो रे क्या. Oh, such a pygmy girl. तर अहिले चाहिँ I feel like that was just her phase भनेर, किनभने now we are like very good friends and since we support each other, girls जस्तै. But त्यो moment याद आएर चाहिँ I'm just like, oh, do you remember that one time you tried to be picked so hard भनेर म यस्तो call out गर्छु.
Yeah, अनि we've been talking about pick me भनेर हैन. So what is pick me girl for you guys? तपाईहरुको understandingमा, like what do you guys think?
So about pick me, I think for me, I think it's more like a societal thing, where एउटा रुममा पनि एउटा मेलको ओपिनियनलाई धेरै भ्यालिडेट गर्ने, or like हुन्छ नि उसको कुरामा चाहिँ वेट छ जस्तो. And your existence also, if it is validated by a man, it means that your existence makes sense, or like हुन्छ नि it's worthy of your opinion is worthy जस्तो. Like even for example, जस्तै हाम्रो पनि मिटिङ्सहरुमा हैन, when you're with the boss and the boss validates you, हैन, you're like, oh yeah, you can show it to your peers that yes, this validates me. So take scenario like अलिकति different बनायो भने चाहिँ, let's say there's like a few women and there's a guy, अनि हुन त आजकल चाहिँ यस्तो देख्दैन हैन, तर कहिले कहिले even like घरको ग्यादरिङहरुमा पनि, like let's say there are women and there are men, but then like the final say or like हुन्छ नि त्यो चाहिँ एउटा केटाले गरिरा हुन्छ कि generally त्यो सिचुएसनमा. अनि त्यो माइन्डसेट चाहिँ पिक मी गर्नमा पनि ट्रान्सफर भएको हो कि लाइक एउटा त भ्यालिडेसन सिक गर्ने नै भयो होइन, कि यस आई वान्ट भ्यालिडेसन फ्रम दिस गाई बिकज उसको दिमागमा द्याट इज मोर वर्दी होइन, भर्सेस माई गर्ल फ्रेन्ड्स त्यो केटाको भ्यालिडेसन इज मोर वर्दी भन्ने जस्तो हुन्छ नि. त्यो भयो. अब आई थिङ्क भेरियस रिजन्स, लाइक एउटा चाहिँ मेबी यही सिचुएसनमा सी लाइक्ड the guy, which is why she thought it's necessary to do that, to be like, oh yeah, I don't like these other girls, I'm not like them, I'm different khale. And men also realize this and they try to cash on it. They're like, oh yeah, you're not like other girls, you're more mature, you're more understanding.
Yeah, and with your grooming episode ma ni kura gareko थियो हैन.
Exactly.
Like मलाई चाहिँ कस्तो फिल हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि लिटरली अब मेन्स वर्ल्डमा एउटा कम्पिटिसन जुन हुन्छ होइन, अनि वुमेन्स वर्ल्डमा चाहिँ एम्पथी भन्ने हुन्छ होइन, अनि एम्पथीको बेसिसमै हामीले गर्लहुड रन गर्छ नि त, एकअर्काको कुरा बुझ्ने, कम्पिट नगर्ने होइन. इभन इफ लाइक हाम्रो एउटा युनिभर्सल जुन गर्लहुडको एक्सपिरियन्स हुन्छ, फर इक्जाम्पल लाइक मेकअपहरू लाउने, ड्रेसेसहरू लगाउने, लाइक बिङ क्याट कल, सरी लाइक अभियसली त्यो पनि छ गर्लहुडमा, बट यो एउटा युनिभर्सल एक्सपिरियन्समा चाहिँ लाइक वेन गर्लहुड बिकम्स कम्पिटेटिभ होइन, लाइक पिकमी गर्ल्सहरू चाहिँ कम्पिटेटिभ हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ क्या मलाई चाहिँ. आई थिङ्क द्याट्स अल्सो द रिजन हुन्छ नि, त्यो एउटा फेज हुन्छ लाइक ओ आई हेट पिङ्क हुन्छ नि, लाइक इट्स बिकज वी लिभ इन अ पेट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी. आई थिङ्क वी अल हेभ वेन्ट थ्रु इट एज वेल.
एन्ड वाइ यु सेइङ द पिङ्क वाला कुरा होइन, म एउटा कुरा आइम वेयरिङ पिङ्क राइट नाउ, माथिदेखि तलसम्म पिङ्क छ होइन, बट आई थिङ्क अल्सो भेरी लेटली आई हेभ स्टार्टेड टु इम्ब्रेस पिङ्क. मेरो दराजमा सबै पिङ्क हुन्छ नि. My boyfriend the other day was like, "Male naya luga kine," and then he was like, "Pink." I'm like, "How do you know?" Like it's a surprise, just but never mind. And so yeah. Wait, what was I trying to get at? What were you saying? Oh yeah. So for example,
girl, what
yeah.
it means for you.
हामीले चाहिँ केटा र केटीलाई अघि एउटा बक्समा राख्दै हुन्छ होइन अनि केटीहरूलाई चाहिँ गर्ल्स आर लाइक दिस भनेर एउटा जुन जेनेरिक दे लाइक पिङ्क दे लाइक फ्लावर्स दे लाइक यु नो डुइङ सर्टन थिङ्स दे लाइक हाउस होल्ड वर्क्स भनेर जुन गरे हुन्छ नि त्यो क्लबमा राख्दाखेरि चाहिँ तिम्रो आफ्नो युनिक आइडेन्टिटी चाहिँ मिस भइरहेको हुन्छ नि त अनि एज मेबी लाइक टिनेजर्स or you know early teenहरूमा चाहिँ होइन मलाई त्यो क्लबमा छैन आई वान्ट माई ओन आइडेन्टिटी भनेर चाहिँ त्यो फल्स के भन्छ लाइक होइन आई एम नट लाइक अदर गर्ल्स आइम डिफ्रेन्ट आई हेभ अ युनिक पर्सनालिटी भन्नेतिर त्यो एट्रिब्युटले पनि पिक मी गर्ल हुन्छ कि मान्छेहरू जस्तो लाग्छ है मलाई चाहिँ
अब यस्तो पनि हो कि अब अस गर्ल्स वी आर अलवेज सेड कि हुन्छ लाइक अल गर्ल्स आर द सेम तर हामीलाई त वी हेभ टु स्ट्यान्ड आउट पनि नि त इन अ सेन्स हुन्छ नि लाइक अब कति धेरै प्रस्पेक्ट भयो अब लाइक इभन अपर्च्युनिटिजकै कुरा भयो होइन वी अलवेज हेभ टु स्ट्यान्ड आउट इन सम टाइप अफ वे क्या त्यसैले पनि लाइक पिकमीज आर बोर्न जस्तै लाग्छ कि मलाई लाइक in a competitive environment where you feel like something is a threat, you'll always be like, oh, I am better than this, I have to prove it. And a lot of times, girls don't speak up about like not being is to pick me behavior. But for example, Ria was like, oh, I'm going to expose her. She's not as sweet as it seems. Not all real life scenarios are like that. Girls are obviously like always said like oh तिमी चुप लाएर बस्नुपर्छ तिमी थपक्क बस्नुपर्छ तिमी ज्ञानी भएर बस्नुपर्छ अनि यस्तो केसेसमा चाहिँ like these pygmies are born and they take advantage of it as well के किनभने they know हुन्छ like oh like she's not going to say anything so I'm going to use it for my advantage भनेर क्या
yeah but for me यो कन्फेसनमा पनि के जस्तै निसाले चाहिँ एकदम सिज पिक्मी खालको एटिट्युड सी डिड द्याट होइन अनि रियाले पनि त लाइक तैँले मेरो खुट्टा तानिस् तैँले मलाई त्यो केटाको अगाडि नराम्रो बनाइस् रोक म तँलाई कति नराम्रो बनाउँछु भनेर एउटाले खुट्टा तान्यो त्यही भएर अर्कोले पनि खुट्टा तानेको जस्तो फिल भयो मलाई चाहिँ वेन आई वाज रिडिङ इट्स लाइक यु क्यान डु इट लाइक आई फिल लाइक since we've been talking about girl खालको you can take since you know तिमीसँग त्यस्तो भयो भने of course you have a lot of raise you want to be like how dare you यस्तो कुरा गरिस् होइन I know I have proofs I have all the receipts म गर्छु भन्ने टाइपको होइन तर that's also very you are also going त्यही पाथमा के like तिमीले मेरो खुट्टा तान्यो रोक न म तिम्रो पनि त्यस्तै गर्छु भनेर जस्ट कि त्यो के इन अ वे सी अल्सो ट्राइड सौरभ होइन सौरभको अगाडि चाहिँ look I didn't do she was trying to prove that to him nita in a way like I also didn't do anything wrong
no I think Ria was very right to defend herself pani kinabhane chup laera basnu nai hudaina ke like don't let other people step on your head first kura ta haina अनि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि इफ लाइक हाउ टु डिल विथ द पिक मी भन्ने एउटा कोर्स थियो अरे होइन I would be kind I wouldn't be like Ria obviously तर I would show her what it means to be a girl like I would embrace हुन्छ like म मेबी आऊ जाऊँ आज हामी सँगै मेकअप गर्न जाऊँ आज हामी सँगै सपिङ गर्न जाऊँ भनेर बिकज द्याट्स वे यु एक्सपिरियन्स इट नि त त्यो गर्लहुड हुन्छ नि इट्स काइन्ड अफ युनिक बट एट द सेम टाइम इट्स इजी टु एक्सपिरियन्स भने बिकज आई रिमेम्बर even with मेरो phase ma you know मेरो pick me phase ma
you in your pick me phase
like when I was a teen like I don't remember
tell us about that
ever being pick me हैन तर like एउटा जुन masculinity war हुन्छ नि मेरो भित्र masculinity war हुन्छ where it's like oh I have to work hard I have to be better than this boys फेरि मेरो खुट्टामा टेक्स like एउटा competitive world we obviously live that त्यसमा चाहिँ like मेरो pick me born भयो but I remember हुन्छ नि my girl best friend she was like oh let's go to the washroom and get ready भनेर के अब त यत्रो छोटो छोटो स्कर्ट लाउने हैन अनि like obviously like as a pick me I would be like I कस्तो छोटो स्कर्ट लागेको मेरो त स्कर्ट लामो छ भने but when I was doing the same thing I was like wow this is so fun like breaking the rules and being just girls
was it like school
bela pani like sometimes I'm having these phases where I'm just like oh like what is happening why can't I stand her भनेर हुन्छ नि अनि त्यतिखेर चाहिँ like I realize I need to spend more time with her भनेर के अनि like recently पनि oh my god we have to deal with this every time जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई recently पनि my friend and I like we went to the washroom and we were like maintaining our dresses हुन्छ नि obviously like कसैको size ठुलो हुन्छ कसैको size smaller हुन्छ and we just look at each other and like envy each other like मलाई चाहिँ सानो चाहिएको थियो भनेर हुन्छ they're like होइन मलाई ठुलो चाहियो like it's literally girlhood किनभने जे हुँदा पनि चित्तो बुझ्दैन and we're like oh this is so relatable because we are on the same boat why are we competing जस्तै हुन्छ क्या so that's how I would deal with the pick me जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई
And also I think we are competing वाला कुरा गरि नै जुन we are in यस्तो situation like because patriarchal खालको society छ हामीहरुको हैन
अनि patriarchal society
नै छ
society
खालको
patriarchal we are suffering man
yeah because normally नै what we do is like compete compare अनि criticize गरिराको हुन्छौं के हामीहरु because normally हामीलाई चाहिँ के सिकाइएको छ or what we have seen for me personally कि like there is only room for one woman खालको के so you have to stand out and you have to compete अनि त्यो भएर चाहिँ stand out गर्नको लागि oh I'm not like other girls maybe I don't like doing makeup अनि मलाई चाहिँ यस्तो कुरा गर्न मन लाग्दैन maybe I don't like wearing pink हुन्छ pink oh no अनि also we want to because pick me भनेको त we want to be validated कुरा गर्नु हैन अनि especially we want त्यो male gaze बाट चाहिँ validation अनि also it's not, we want that because pick me ko case ma chai because we want to show that you know I'm ali less I'm easy I am easy to deal with khalko dekhaunu
no I don't have a lot of emotions
cool girl persona jun huncha ni I feel like it's so fake like
okay let me like steer the conversation a little bit हैन so while we're talking about pick me and all these things I just really want to dissect as to Sonika patriarchy bhanisakyo हैन so I want to dissect as to how this is a very very political issue okay like for example a societal issue भनौं न where even जस्तै सोनिकाले भने हैन like 10 वटा सीट छ रे भने 7 वटा सीट केटाको हुन्छ 3टा सीट मेबी केटीको हुन्छ even in parliament we have 33% women representation हैन
so बल्ल
अनि so त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ already limited seats छ हैन and then त्यो limited seats मा we're competing हैन all of us we're competing for positions not just in like parliament or anything but also in like corporate situations in like friend group situations in like there are a lot of situations where we compete with other women because we have limited resources right and therefore you have this urge to be like oh I need to stand out how do you stand out how do I be part of the entire thing vandaheri you see 7 men and you kind of want to be like oh maybe I need to be more like them or like I need to conform to their standards just so you know so pick me is actually I think born by this system where they give very less resources to women and very less resources ma a lot of women compete and then त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it's like competition ले चाहिँ त्यो गरे but
म त भन्छु like guys gossip embrace गर like I know you guys will be like हुन्छ नि ओ सबै केटीहरु त्यस्तै हुन्छ like कस्तो like कुरा मात्र काट्छ like के गर्ने त हुन्छ नि like you see aunties doing it they're having fun हुन्छ नि at the end of the day they're going to share their food with each other they're going to be like oh like तिम्रो छोराको टेक केयर गर अनि त्यसपछि नेक्स्ट डे म गर्छु भने like it's kind of a girlhood motherhood is involved in girlhood हैन being getting ready sharing clothes is involved in girlhood and obviously like same spaces or opportunities no paula but at the end of the day when you embrace all of these things that you feel like is setting you back you're going to have a clearer picture you're going to like have a clearer picture about what I am competing for like or what is someone else competing for am I being taken advantage of kinabhane a lot of pick me girls get taken advantage of because they're like easy to sway and like obviously male validation all
because
this
they want male validation
the very core of their value is
men
something that is not predictable
I think we can discuss this further let's move on to the next confession bunny
before next confession I really wanted to add on to what Shweta didi said about the political even हाम्रो त्यो उसमा 33% बाला कुरा गर्नुभयो even one of the research I went through पहिला नै त्यसमा चाहिँ I think Harvard Business Review or something Harvard related review ले भनेको थियो के if there is this competitive मेल इन्भाइरोमेन्ट त्यसमा चाहिँ देयर आर हायर चान्सेस जसमा चाहिँ वुमेन गेट क्लोजर अवे फ्रम अदर वुमेन फर मेल भ्यालिडेसन के मेल अप्रुभलको लागि स्पेसली इट ह्यापन्स सिन्स वर्क प्लेसमा हुनसक्छ होइन बिकज लाइक यु सेड अघि 7 जना चाहिँ केटाहरू छ भने आई वर्क एकदमै मेलले डोमिनेट गरेको वर्क प्लेसेसहरूमा मोस्टली अनि वेन देयर आर सो मेनी men you want to fit in because you are supposed to work with them all day through होइन so you are supposed to sit with them अनि उनीहरूसँग काम गरिराख्नु परेको छ अनि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ आई थिङ्क we have also seen कि फिट इन अब स्मोक गर्ने सर्कलहरू चाहिँ एकदम धेरै कुरा हुन्छ उनीहरूको होइन मेबी यु स्टार्ट बिल्डिङ दोज ह्याबिट्सहरू हुनसक्छ होइन or you sit down अनि उनीहरूले कुरा गरेको भनेपछि अब दे जोक अबाउट वुमेन होला होइन दे जो यस्तो गर्यो and you are sitting there just so that कि they feel like she is part of the group so that कि पछि केही opportunities आउँछ केही because you have to work in a team त्यति बेला you want to be part of it होइन you want to be included in things because you have to work and it's like that part त्यो ठाउँबाट पनि इमर्ज हुन्छ कि अनि it is like proved in a way by research नै के so it's so difficult being a woman यस्तो कुराहरू स्पेसमा पनि अनि we been talking about sisterhood होइन अनि sisterhood को कुरा चाहिँ like of course we dressing up together हुन्छ नि having a women like dancing getting ready and all but also when empathy को कुरा गरेको थियो अघि शेरीले होइन sisterhood को कुरामा चाहिँ like having someone for me because having someone to be there to listen to you go through so many things तिमीले 10 चोटि भने पनि someone is there to listen to you भन्ने कुराहरू पनि आउँछ होइन तर यो अराउन्डमा पनि we have a confession so
मलाई नि एड गर्नु मन थियो एउटा कुरा बिकज पिक मी गर्ल्स हुन्छ होइन बट एट द सेम टाइम पिक मी बोइज भयो भने चाहिँ इट्स लाइक रिभर्स के पिक मी बोइजलाई चाहिँ सेम गर्छ पिक मी गर्ल्सलाई चाहिँ इन्करेज गर्छ क्या लाइक आई फिल लाइक द्याट किनभने बिकज पिक मी बोइजहरू लाइक obviously pick me boys भनेको उनीहरू अलिक feminine act गरिरहेछ they're like I'm not like other guys हुन्छ नि I don't talk about girls in a derogatory way भनेर but it's such a good thing but they're like gay you're so feminine like हुन्छ नि you're not masculine at all like त्यो
in
एउटा
that sense
एकदमै unfair नै भयो नि त
basically gender confirming roles भएन भने you again get
no but girls they're encouraged to be more assertive aggressive more empowered
also like adding on to that when you were saying that even girls tend to agree with guys when they're in a situation where they're heavily male dominated you know and I see like women superiors okay even in our workplace we see like women in reaching a certain position you know they exhibit very very patriarchal values at the end of the day the cycle does not end a woman reaches that leadership position where she's supposed to make that change but the way she reaches there is by competing for that limited space and you eventually turn into a patriarch yourself when you reach there and then instead of breaking the cycle you become part of the cycle and I think that's absolutely crazy
I have a similar experience with this you know like I had this women figure who was like alikati superior you know and so they like obviously alikati power dynamics position ma so she's obviously I'm supposed to listen to her bhanera अनि it was all about body shaming हरू क्या like मलाई एकदमै bother हुन्थ्यो कि like like why am I not dressed a certain way like am I being sexualized यसो भनेर सोच्थेँ क्या but I thought of it like मैले एउटा एज ग्याप जुन रिप्लेस गरिदिएँ क्या हुन्छ नि with her चाहिँ मलाई I just thought like I'll just look at her like a mother who's still stuck in the patriarchal society अनि उनीहरूको लागि चाहिँ obviously girls girl भन्ने like हामी जस्तो हुँदैन like they're a bit generation of far from that you know obviously she's upholding a lot of patriarchal values but a lot of times she was also saying something good to me yeah? like she was like you need to take care of yourself you need to maintain yourself bhanera ani then I realized ki like okay त्यो अर्को कुरा चाहिँ एउटा pick me behavior exhibit थियो हैन तर यतापट्टि त she's saying it for me हुन्छ नि she's saying it so I get more opportunities so I can hold on like a space हुन्छ नि attract a space and then मेरो आफ्नै पोजिसन जुन हुन्छ नि विच आई एम सपोज टु गेट होइन लाइक उसको सजेसन सुनेर पनि लाइक मलाई चाहिँ अनि इट्स जस्ट लाइक इट्स अल अबाउट एम्पथी अघि भनेको जस्तै होइन it's just like, oh, she's been through a lot, like a lot of times धेरै कुराहरू हुन्छ, like we keep going to call her out for it. The cycle keeps repeating.
I think like it's very sorry
But
it's a very like
fight
the
won't stop.
suggestion that she was giving to you actually makes really sense, because she herself is a woman,
Yeah.
and she faced a lot of hurdles that women in the workplace face, yet she has been in a position in a 50-50 situation के ऊ लाइक 50% त ऊ वुमेन भएर भयो होइन, 50% चाहिँ आफ्नो भ्याल्यु चाहिँ अलिकति कम्प्रोमाइज गरेर सी कन्फर्म टु अल दिज आइडियाज अर नोसन्स अफ वाट अ वर्किङ वुमेन सुड बी लाइक होइन भनेर चाहिँ. अनि फेरि त्यो नोसन बनाएको कसले, मेल डोमिनेटेड फिल्डले होइन बनाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ. अनि सी काइन्ड अफ रियलाइज हाउ सी रिच्ड द्याट स्पेस इन हर लाइफ. अनि त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ she's giving that same advice to you, okay? You need to be able to have that balance where you're like, oh yes, halka misogynistic, halka not misogynistic. If you do that balance, then you can move forward in life. And I said that is what worked out for her.
Even with body shaming, like म अहिले positively हेर्छु क्या, किनभने obviously she wouldn't want me to be sexualized in front of all these old men. Like a lot of times when your mom say like, oh, सानै उमेरमा boyfriend नबनाऊ, सानै उमेरमा boyfriend नबनाऊ, because she knows how guys will take advantage पनि हो नि त. Like she's not saying it because you are a bad girl, तिमी बिग्रेको केटी हो. It's more like this is how we protect women हो नि त. Like even older women को पनि त्यही perspective नै हो नि त. Like as a mother, as an auntie, as a teacher हुन्छ नि, as someone who like is looked at a guardian position, as a mentor, like they're just trying to give humble advices which come out wrong sometimes जस्तो लाग्छ कि मलाई.
Because they say it in a wrong way. I have a different perspective but look into your situation, because the thing you said, I have been in a similar situation where the person who is still in that position, who is older of course, एकदम मेरो आमाकै एजको भनौँ होइन हुनुहुन्छ, तर like she is kind of commenting on my body and all out of care होला. तर like you said, maybe as a mother वाला, I don't need another mother, I have one होइन, like हुन्छ नि, because I have one who has been I won't say moral policing or anything, तर I have लाइक हुन्छ नि सुनेको छ, मैले वरिपरिबाट मान्छेबाट सुनेको छ. सो आई एम इन द्याट पोजिसन जस्तो लाग्छ वेयर आई क्यान नट टेक बडी सेमिङ एट अल के. त्यति बेला अफकोर्स यु आर इन द्याट, यु आर इन अ वर्क प्लेस, इफ यु वान्ट टु कमेन्ट अन माई वर्क होइन. अनि आई गेट इट लाइक दिस इज नट द स्पेस होइन. अनि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ द्याट मेक्स यु, बिकज वी डिड टक अबाउट बडी इमेजवाला कुरा पनि होइन, तिमीले आफै सोच्ने भन्दा पनि अरूबाट आउने हो नि त होइन. सो इफ यु क्यान नट बी पार्ट अफ माई लाइक growth where you support me, of course she has been nice to me, she was भन्छु अहिले होइन, पहिला कुरा हो. सो she was being nice to me, एकदमै हुन्छ नि तिमी राम्रो गरिरहेको छौ भनेर के. तर लाइक यु हेभ इम्प्याक्टेड मी यस्तो नराम्रो तरिकाले भनेपछि आई डोन्ट निड द्याट काइन्ड अफ भ्यालिडेसन तिमीबाट. त्यो कुराले पनि जस्तो लाग्छ कि आई डोन्ट नो, आई अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड होइन, इम्पथी इज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट, यु हेभ टु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड कि उहाँ कुन बाटो आइराख्नु भएको छ. बट एज अ वुमन इन अ पोजिसन, इट्स अल्सो योर रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी इक्वली टु ट्राई टु एटलिस्ट ब्रेक त्यो साइकल के. बिकज अघि कुरा गऱ्यौँ बिङ पार्ट अफ द साइकल. अनि आई फिल लाइक आई डोन्ट निड सजेसन अन हाउ आई लुक, आई डोन्ट निड सजेसन मेरो लुगामा. अफकोर्स आई नो वर्क प्लेसमा हाउ टु ड्रेस, अर मेरो पेट देखिरहेको छ कि छैन, मेरो बडी पार्ट्सहरू रिभिल भइरहेको छ कि छैन भनेर. आइ एम हियर टु वर्क, कमेन्ट अन माई वर्क एन्ड हेल्प मी त्यो कुरामा के.
Help me achieve more.
And that's how what is sisterhood pani ke, in a workplace where someone, one of my colleagues who has been really मलाई चाहिँ तिमीले अघि त्यस्तो भनेको थियो, I didn't say it मान्छेहरूको अगाडि, मेबी यु निड टु थिङ्क वेन यु स्पिक यो कुराहरू चाहिँ यसरी नगर यो अफिसमा बिकज यस्तो यस्तो कुरा हुन्छ भनेर. द्याट इज सिस्टरहुड के, लाइक नट कलिङ आउट अगाडि, तर होइन दिस इज योर फर्स्ट टाइम, आई अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड भनेर. द्याट इज अल्सो अफकोर्स सी डिन्ट से भेरी पोजिटिभ थिङ, बिकज मैले भनेको कुरा त्यति राम्रो मानिने नरहेछ मेरो त्यो वर्क प्लेसमा. तर सी केम टु मी एन्ड टक, अनि देन आई रियलाइज ओ यस्तो यस्तो कुराहरू चाहिँ यहाँ खासै नहुँदो रहेछ, एन्ड आई अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड. तर it's like different kind of thing के हुन्छ नि workplace.
While you say that, मलाई पनि कस्तो feel हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि not every conversation you have is fun.
Yes.
Not every conversation you have is like हुन्छ नि एकदमै ha 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 खाली हैन. Some conversations have to be hard hitting.
Yes.
हैन. अनि त्यसलाई त्यो ल हैन, you have to get a hard hitting message out, you have to give a hard hitting हुन्छ नि, because अब you're in a workplace हैन, अनि हामी like we're in like junior positions हैन अझै पनि. So हामीलाई मेन्टरसिप चाहिन्छ, बट हाउ डु यु डु इट मा जस्तो तिमीले भन्यो तिम्रो कलिगले तिमीलाई छुट्टै लगेर होइन यस्तो चाहिँ होइन यस्तो चाहिँ हो है भनेर भन्दाखेरि यु टेक इट होइन, यु टेक इट इन एन्ड यु ट्राई टु इम्प्लाइ, बिकज कोही पनि यहाँ म चाहिँ होइन नराम्रो काम गर्छु भनेर को भन्छ नि, म इम्प्रुभ गर्न आएको हो, म राम्रो गर्छु होइन भन्नै आएको बेला चाहिँ आई थिङ्क द्याट्स रियली नाइस.
Yeah, like even with women I said, she's older than me, she's more mature, she's more experienced, but she did not shame me in front of everyone, you know. Like she called me in the corner, it's like, oh यस्तो लुगा चाहिँ नलाऊ, like हुन्छ नि यस्तो लुगा चाहिँ नलाऊ, like अनि त्यसपछि ओके क्लासमा पनि कमेन्ट गरेको थियो होइन. इट्स लाइक ओ यु वेयर क्रप टप्स, तर मेरो क्लासमा सबैजना केटीहरू नै थियो हुन्छ नि. आई वाज लाइक लाइक हुन्छ नि एभ्री वान वाज लाइक लिभ इट हुन्छ नि. एन्ड देन इभन few of my girlfriends were like, oh, we have called her out on this so many times हुन्छ नि. But overall I feel like she's a good guardian. Like
I mean it's also about तिमीले भन्ने तरिका पनि हैन. It was nice about it, like यस्तो यस्तो हो या यस्तो छ भनेर बुझाउने तरिकाले भने पनि अब स्टिल मलाई चाहिँ अलि डिफिकल्टै हुन्छ यो कुरा पचाउन हैन. तै पनि लाइक द वे यु ट्राई टु मेक देम अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड इट्स भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट पनि हैन. कुन टोनले भनिरहेछ, कुन इन्टेन्सनले भनिरहेछ बुझ्छौ कि तिमीले. सो ह्याभिङ सेड द्याट,
the next confession. I went to the club with a man, ended up crying in the bathroom with 3 strangers, and it healed me. On Saturday night, bought the lunch, red lipsticks, heels I couldn't walk in, and a man who looked better on Instagram than he did in real life. Let's call him Susan. We were 2 drinks deep, and I already knew I wasn't feeling it. He didn't seem interested in me while I was sitting there looking like a whole ass goddess. The math wasn't mathing. Anyway, I headed to the bathroom to fix my lipstick. That's when I met a girl, Prakriti. Her eyeliner was smudged, on the verge of tears, whispering to herself through the mirror. I asked, are you okay? And she broke down. She tells me that her ex is here with a new girl and has the audacity to nod on her like they were bros. She started crying again. Then another girl walked in. Her name was Sneha, and she saw the situation and she pulled out her lip gloss and goes, we're not crying over men tonight, okay? Within 5 minutes, the 3 of us were sitting on the floor. We were passing around lipstick, fake laughing through real tears, talking about boys, breakups, and none of us felt good enough lately. No one was judging, no one was competing, it was just safe. Meanwhile, Susan was blowing off my phone like, where are you, where are you? I didn't even look at it. The bathroom became a tiny temple of girlhood. We hyped each other up, shared the setting spray, and left arm in arm like we'd known each other for our whole life. We even made a pact to block our emotionally unavailable men together. Oh my god, such a good heartfelt confession.
Yeah.
I feel like I've experienced this at the club as well.
Yeah, women's washroom in a club is one of the most safest place.
True.
Not just like clubs can be pretty unsafe, but like you have very heartfelt conversations in clubs, washrooms, I think.
Yeah, like the best part about it is sharing a lipstick with a stranger you don't even know the name of, and then you guys are just kissing each other and encouraging each other like, know your self-worth, girl. Timi oti rami so, timi oti smart so. You don't deserve to be treated like shit. Or, like, I think like when you're drunk, it's extra emotion pani, but at the same time, like it's such a positive feeling to encourage a girl in the girl bathroom pani.
Yeah. It's like you don't know each other, tara you know you can you can relate to the problem, and you are like, no, you are way better off, type and it's really like I've been to clubs and let's say we're dancing and you meet other girls and you dance together and you go to the washroom and they're like you're talking, you're fixing each other's hair, makeup and all. It's really this is why I love being a woman.
Yeah.
I love being a woman.
Yuta Sunny, like girls go to the club to dance guys go to the club to see girls. Have you guys heard it?
No.
My god, that's just another level of irritation in my head, but okay.
But I think it's also kind of true because we the मलाई त as girls I feel like हामी जान्छौँ नाच्छौँ रमाइलो गर्छौँ हुन्छ नि.
Yeah, our intention is to just let it out.
Girls,
let's dance,
girls night हुन्छ.
Having fun with your girlies खालको.
Yeah, a lot of times अब ग्रुपै girls गयो भने पनि हैन, oh my god, like sometimes the guys follow you to the hotel room, you haven't even talked to them हुन्छ नि, you don't even accept the drink, you know. I have experienced that.
अनि यो सिचुएसनमा चाहिँ when you are with your girl group you are like के रे how dare you follow me भनेर you have that confidence because of your girls.
चप्पल उठाएर हामी चाहिँ चप्पल उठाएर भने के हुन्छ.
Like of course अब कहिले काहीँ त it's not even अब certified creep हैन, यस्तो नगर भन्नु पनि certified creep यस्तो नगर, like सबैजना त्यस्तो हुँदैन. But when you do that it makes you feel so uncomfortable, like especially मलाई अर्को कुरा के मनपर्छ भन्दाखेरि there are some single girls at the club हैन, अनि like you see a guy and maybe like you guys make out, तर when you're with your girls they don't let you go with the guy, like त्यो नोटिस गरेको छ भने हुन्छ नि, they're just like no you're not going, you're not going, like सबैजना drunk हुन्छ, like out of their mind just having fun. They was like nah.
Yeah, and it's also nice, you know, when you are with your group, especially your girls. And I've been in a situation where my friend was not feeling so well after drinking and she was throwing up and all, but we were there for her, you know. So we were there for her. I mean, like, you know, we are here type ko bhanera cleaning up huna sakcha, and she was also trying to talk to one guy. We're helping her out. We're like you know, making expression पछाडिबाट, and it's like, you know, it's really nice त्यो वाला feeling के.
No, like even with the club thing हैन, मलाई कस्तो मन पर्छ के, like being a girl's girl mean हैन, even if you hate this girl हुन्छ नि, like you hate with the like every inch of your soul हुन्छ नि, you're like oh I find her so annoying, like मलाई यो केटी मन नै पर्दैन, then but you don't let her go हुन्छ नि with someone else so when they're drunk, unconscious पनि के. Like I feel like girlhood is that beautiful.
Yeah, that is the actually right definition of like being a girl's girl, because तिमीलाई कोही मन पर्दैन होला तर त्यो सिचुएसनमा छ भनेपछि you are always there के, you take the stand and you are like हैन I want her to be safe as well खालको सिचुएसनमा राख्नलाई के, and that's very important.
We girls have each other's back, like that's what's beautiful. Okay.
Yes.
Now let's move on to the next confession by Sonika.
Okay.
Sonika, I love you, Sonika. I'm a girl's girl. What?
Let's hype it up.
Let's hype it up for Sonika.
Let me. Okay. I ghosted my best friend for 3 months because her life was dumpster fire and I could not take it anymore. I know this makes me sound like a complete asshole, but I need to get it off my chest. A few years ago, I had this friend. Let's call her M. She was going through it, bad job, toxic family, rocky relationship, and I was the friend she vented to every single day. We are not talking the occasional life sucks rant. No, I'm talking 45-minute voice notes, paragraphs upon paragraphs of trauma dumping at 2 a.m. Phone calls that turned into emotional hostage situations. She refused to take any advice. I was like screaming into a void made of anxiety and self-sabotage. At first, I was patient, supportive. I thought this is what good friends do. But after 6 months of being her emotional punching bag, something in me snapped. I started dreading seeing her name pop on my phone. It was like a wave of dread hit every time I got a message. So I made up some dumb excuse, told her I needed space for personal reasons, and I vanished.
That's not a dumb excuse, by the way. Yeah.
Cold turkey, no text, no calls, nothing for 3 whole months. I knew she was spiraling. I knew she needed someone, but I just didn't care anymore. I had nothing left to give. We eventually reconnected. The friendship isn't what it used to be, and maybe that's for the best. I still feel guilty, but at the time it was either her or me, and I chose me.
Yay! मलाई अघि भनेको जस्तै, like even if I was the confessor and I saw her in the club, she was drunk, I wouldn't let her go with any guy because she is all knowing I don't like her.
I know, like I think there is something called a personal boundary, a personal emotional के भन्छ रे emotional cup bottom, well-being हैन. So for even like when I've been in very tough times, I have called my friend who is in Australia हैन. दिनभरि यसरी नै हामी गफ गरे हुन्छ हैन. अनि सुरुमा 10 मिनेट एकदम स्ट्रेट ऱ्यान्ट हाने पनि नेक्स्ट 30 मिनट्स चाहिँ इज मोर लाइक सेल्फ डेप्रिकेटिङ हा खाले हुन्छ नि त्यस्तो खाले. तर I also understand that none of us are professionals and we do not have that capacity to take so much negativity inside us pani ke haina.
No, it comes back to you नै रहेछ क्या, like with friendships like this pani.
Friendships like
Yeah.
And basically what I was trying to say is I think it's good to cut off and know, because after all I think when I say it starts affecting you, right? It starts affecting you. Your life राम्रो चलिरहेछ. It might start to go, because you kind of observe. You are what you see, what you observe. And sometimes like you are also a reflection of your friend group or like what's going on in your family. This is a different topic, and I also am not a professional to talk on this on behalf of this. But then I think it's important to understand. अब चाहिँ ल भयो है, I'm setting my boundary भनेर चाहिँ communicate गर्न is very important, and I think she did that, and it's fine. And also as she stated that it's fine भनेर.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
यसमा चाहिँ
Okay.
I have दुईटा different perspective, दुईटै साइडबाट, because I have been so I have different perspective, दुईटा different perspective, दुईटै साइडबाट. I won't say that I've been on the both side, but kind of एउटा साइडमा धेरै, एउटा साइडमा अलिक कम हुनसक्छ होइन. So I would say यो कन्फेसनमा भने जस्तै of course it's really tiring after some point. म पनि I've been in a situation where I've been listening to, you know, I was constantly, I won't say a friend खालको मान्छे होइन, I will say that, you know, I was listening to that person. यस्तो धेरै सबैको लाइफमा प्रब्लम हुन्छ, कसको लाइफमा हुँदैन होइन. तिम्रो लाइफमा अलरेडी प्रब्लम छ अनि अर्को मान्छेले अब एक दिन हुन्छ, 2 दिन हुन्छ, एकछिन हुन्छ होइन, तर भन्याछ भने अघि भन्नु पनि कप फुल छ, पानी भरि छ होइन, त्यसको माथि आयो भने तिम्रो नै ऊ भइसकेको त्यो स्पिल ओभर हुन्छ नि त, त्यो खाली नै छैन. तिम्रो अलरेडी प्रब्लम छ अनि यु स्टार्ट थिङ्किङ के ओहो के उसको कुराले नै इट स्टार्ट अफेक्टिङ यु.
It's also about a lot of times अब इमोसनल बर्डन सेयर गर्दाखेरि त एउटा ट्रमा बन्ड टाइपको फ्रेन्डसिप पनि बन्छ.
ट्रमा बन्डिङ.
तर इभेन्चुअली वान पर्सन चाहिँ गेट्स आउट अफ इट के, लाइक छिटो जान्छ नि त त्यो सेम मेन्टल स्पेसमा. ल तिमीहरू बन्ड भएर होइन, ट्रमा बन्ड गरेर. बट अब म र सोनिका सर एक्जाम्पल, एन्ड देन I would just keep talking about how my life is so annoying, like I'm not even grateful, like मलाई खाना पनि खान मन लाग्दैन हुन्छ नि. I'm like, oh, all these opportunities, I'm not even grateful for it. Like मेरो काममा मलाई promotion पायो, I'm still like, oh, like I'm still competing with a senior हुन्छ नि who has a better job than me. Like फर्स्टमा त आफ्नो कुरासँग grateful हुनु पर्यो नि त. And then we'll be like, oh, you are being grateful, like I'm so happy for you, I was also in the same space भनेर. किनभने at the end of the day friends are going to relate to each other, and to the company you keep is who you are.
And also adding on के रे जस्तै मैले भने नि, like one person is keep like the one person they keep on saying one thing एउटै त्यो अलि नेगेटिभ कुराहरू होइन. अनि when it comes to sisterhood यो फ्रेन्डसिपको कुराहरूमा it needs to be two ways के तिमीले पनि त अर्को मान्छे कुरा सुनिदिनु पर्यो. नर्मली के हुन्छ भने यस्तो रिलेसनसिप्समा होइन, यो सिस्टरहुडमा लाइक वान पर्सन इज कन्सटेन्टली ट्रमा डम्पिङ, मेरो यस्तो भयो उस्तो भयो, आई डोन्ट नो होइन. इट्स सो सरप्राइजिङ पनि मलाई त्यो मान्छेको लाइफमा यस्तो धेरै प्रब्लम कसरी भइरहेछ के. पहिलो कुरा त होइन, लाइक आज यस्तो भयो भोलि त्यस्तो भयो, एक्सट्रिम खालको हुन्छ. मेरो लाइफ इज अल्सो फुल अफ ड्रामा हुन चाहिँ, तर त्यस्तो भइरहेको हुन्छ अनि यु गेट एक्जस्टेड अनि युआर लाइक यु नो आई डोन्ट वान्ट टु बी पार्ट अफ इट एनी मोर खालको हुन्छ. एन्ड इट्स भेरी नेचुरल पनि यस्तो फिल गर्न. तर यो कन्फेसनमा गरे जस्तै डम एक्सक्युज बनाएर गायब चाहिँ हुनु इज अल्सो नट अ गुड थिङ, बिकज यु निड टु कन्फ्रन्ट पनि कि लुक दिस इज इनफ भनेर. आई नो इट्स डिफिकल्ट होइन, तर अर्को मान्छेलाई पनि थाहा हुनु पऱ्यो कि लुक वाट एभर यु आर डुइङ इज नट द्याट राइट. म अर्को पर्सपेक्टिभबाट भनिरहेको यो चाहिँ होइन, बिकज फर इक्जाम्पल आई हेभ अ लट अफ इस्युज मेरो लाइफमा, आइ एम गोइङ थ्रु थिङ्स. अनि म कस्तो खालको मान्छे हो भने आई निड टु टक अबाउट एउटै कुरा 1000चोटि, सो द्याट इट हेल्प्स मी रिफ्लेक्ट, इट हेल्प्स मी गेट थिङ्स बेटर खालको होइन. अनि त्यो रिफ्लेक्ट गर्नको लागि भने गऱ्यो भने आई अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड अर्को मान्छेलाई इट्स डिफिकल्ट टु टेक इन थिङ्स होइन, टेक इन थिङ्स डिफिकल्ट हुनसक्छ, तर त्यो भन्दैमा अर्को मान्छेलाई यु नो वाट यु आर डुइङ इज नट सिटिङ राइट विथ मी, इट इज अल्सो एडिङ अन मेरो लाइफमा कुराहरू, अलि मलाई गाह्रो भइरहेछ, मेबी वी सुड स्टप इट फर सम टाइम भनेपछि अफकोर्स अर्को मान्छेलाई लिन डिफिकल्ट हुन्छ, तर एटलिस्ट कन्फ्रन्टिङ रादर देन सेङ कि यु नो म आजकल एकदम बिजी छु, मेरो वर्कलोड धेरै छ, सो आई वन्ट बी एबल टु टक टु यु भन्नु चाहिँ नट अ गुड थिङ, यु निड टु बी अनेस्ट अबाउट इट जस्तो लाग्छ।
I have a solution to that.
यस
I was taking a consulting situation, like therapist kind of situation. अनि तिमी के गर्छौ त when you need to rant भनेर मलाई सोध्यो कि, अनि what I do is something I think you also do this, होइन, I think we've had a conversation. I just open my phone camera and I start recording myself and I talk to myself. Okay?
Oh, me too, I do it.
Because sometimes that is really, and you just need to get it out, and because you have that person in front of you, which is basically you feel like you're talking to someone and you're taking it out, right? આજકાલ તો AI पनि छ, you can just write it down and then if you want it in message format.
I'm giving a lot of data to AI આજકાल.
But yeah, Shrey,
like अब सेम गिभ एन्ड टेक भन्यो नि होइन सोनिकाले, मलाई चाहिँ कस्तो आई बिन इन अ सिचुएसन वेयर द रिलेसनसिप इज जस्ट लाइक दिस के, अब मेबी इफ दे आर लिसनिङ दे विल प्रब्ली बी लाइक ओ यु पुट मी इन द ब्लास्ट भनेर होइन, बट आई एम गोइङ टु से समथिङ एन्ड लाइक दे हेटेड इट के। अब कस्तो भन्दाखेरि आफ्नो प्रब्लम्सहरू सुनाउने होइन, मेरो लाइफ किन यस्तो छ, मैले यो मिस्टेक गरेँ, आज मैले हुन्छ लाइक आज मैले रिलेसनसिपमा टक्सिक भइदिएँ, आज म वर्क
यति सिरियस कुरा तर आई एम फाइन्डिङ इट
लाइक होइन हुन्छ क्या, लाइक आज मैले काममा गइनँ बट इट्स नट माई फल्ट, यस्तो खाले कुरा गर्ने क्या। अनि त्यसपछि ओके लाइक म चाहिँ फेरि एकदम गुड लिसनर छु होइन, म सुनेर बस्दिन्छु क्या, तर एउटा लिमिट हुन्छ नि त, मलाई पनि त आफ्नो एडभाइस दिनु मन छ होइन। म जहिले म अर्काको गल्ती किन भ्यालिडेट गरेर बस्नु, लाइक वाइ डु आई हेभ टु बी लाइक हो काम नजाऊ, लाइक यु फक अप योर लाइफ योर सेल्फ भनेर त हुन्छ नि, लाइक आम गोइङ टु बी लाइक ओ द्याट यु आर काइन्ड अफ रङ इन देयर ल भने, त्यसपछि त डेन्जर झगडा गरिदिएर कि उल्टे मसँग हुन्छ लाइक द्याट्स वेन इट कम्स ब्याक रहेछ क्या, लाइक वेन यु स्टप भ्यालिडेटिङ देम हुन्छ लाइक ओ तिमीले मिस्टेक गर्यो ठिक छ नि त, वेयर अल ह्युमन भनिराख्नु पर्ने अरे होइन। तर अब फेरि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ के थियो भन्दाखेरि वाट आई हेटेड द मोस्ट वाज मेरो प्रब्लम्स चाहिँ कहिले पनि नसुन्ने क्या, लाइक अभियसली एउटा सहारा त हो, आम नट गोइङ टु बी लाइक ओ मेरो लाइफ फिक्स गरिदियो भनेर, तर प्रब्लम सबैजनाले सुनाउन पायो हुन्छ नि, स्पेसली द वान हु ट्रस्ट द मोस्ट, लाइक आफ्नो सपोर्ट सिस्टम, लाइक आज आएर मैले तपाईँहरूलाई हुन्छ नि लाइक आम गोइङ टु बी लाइक ओ लाइक आम ह्याभिङ दिस प्रब्लम एट वर्क, मलाई मेरो बस मन पर्दैन भने यु गाइज आर नट गोइङ टु बी लाइक हुन्छ नि ओ लाइक हुन्छ नि ओ यु आर रङ फर द्याट, लाइक हुन्छ नि तिम्रो बस चाहिँ राइट होला हुन्छ नि, लाइक उल्टो एडभाइस त दिँदैन थियो, यु गोइङ टु लिसन देन यु गोइङ टु एनालाइज कसको मिस्टेक छ भनेर, एन्ड देन यु गाइज आर गोइङ टु गिभ गुड एडभाइसेस वेयर आम गोइङ टु बी लाइक ओ मैले बुझेँ, or like oh like oh है that was wrong है भनेर एउटा पर्सपेक्टिभ दिँदाखेरि पनि क्या सेम यस्तै भएको क्या, तर आई वाज लाइक यु नो वाट झगडा गरे
But you caught your friend off?
No, like I didn't even have to cut off because she started fighting with me. यत्रो लामो प्याराग्राफ पठाएको क्या just because I didn't.
Okay la.
Similar situation.
Guys, sisters.
Yes, sister.
Sisters, we need to wrap up.
Yeah.
I'm being silenced.
But like before we wrap up, last thing हैन. So हाम्रो लाइफमा भएको like womenहरू like को कस्तो, I don't know how to put it, like the women you look up to तिम्रो लाइफमा, the sisterhood जो तिमीले एकदम भ्याल्यु गर्छौ, like do you have that?
I have you guys, first of all, like unexpected combo, but we match so good together.
It might not look camera ma यस्तो हैन, okay what's wrong, like combination, but yes we
Okay, yeah, I think for me it's my friends from school and even from like Women Lead, sabajana, like I think any and every women I meet, I kind of vibe and then I keep a relationship. Sometimes it fizzles out, sometimes it's there, but then I know that if I need them, they're just a text away.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
That's so
I
true.
love low maintenance friendships. Like Thank you girls for
Sonika,
existing.
yours is remaining.
Yes, मेरो चाहिँ of course I have a sister luckily inbuilt हुन्छ नि घरमा. I'm so glad. Thank you मेरो parents लाई.
Can we give
That they have
shout
a
outs?
sister,
Mom, I will say names of all the girls I
Yeah.
love here.
तर but there are so many छुटिहाल्छ कि कोही न कोही चाहिँ तर
Sisters, wrap up
yeah,
energy.
but I would like to take my sister name Akanksha Kaur and also Nikki दिदी. दुईजना चाहिँ तर the thing is कि मेरो लागि sisterhood चाहिँ they are different types of sisterhood for me. Okay? If I want to rant about my relationship होला, something is not working right for me, I will reach out to मेरो certain sisters हरु हैन. तर if I want to rant about my work, career or something, I have another group. Okay? So it's like you have friends for everything. जोसँग चाहिँ you can reach out, you can talk to हुन्छ नि heart out and जोसँग चाहिँ you can talk about everything. Okay? So that you don't burden them पनि नि त. So yeah, I'm so grateful to have those kind of people in my life.
Okay, concluding remarks, Panchaiza.
Yes.
Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
Is that okay?
I want to say
Okay.
I want to mention my friend Neetu, and then I want to mention my sister Mona.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
I love you guys.
Okay, guys, sisters, we need to wrap up with very at the end, and I want to say a few takeaways because I think we digressed and we talked about a lot of different things. Number one is do not compete for resources. I know it's resource ko problem. There are very limited resources. Fight for changing the system, what we always do. We've come a very long way. Zamana थियो, ek zamana थियो where women weren't allowed to vote.
Yeah.
Now we're in a different space and we
True.
need to push this further. We need to break the cycle and we need to prove. We need to give that space to another generation, right? So let's do that collectively, Bonsomaze. And
lastly,
yeah,
don't be the part of cycle. Break the cycle.
Mother, I say embrace gossip. It's very fun. It's not
Embrace
harmful.
womanhood, sisterhood. Actually,
It's not harmful. It's just gossip. Like, don't be talking bad things. Say do I?
We have
तर,
taken,
ranting
advice.
gossip is okay. म त्यति मात्र भन्न चाहन्छु. Embrace girlhood.
oh my
Yes.
god,
This
okay.
is the end of
Our
this episode.
Please
Yeah.
like, share, comment. एकदम comment
follow
गर्नु.
us.
Follow us
Us,
on
the
our
ads
Instagram,
are-
TikTok. है.
Love
Thank you,
Bye
everyone. Bye bye.
guys.